Today we're looking at Psalms 3. It reads as follows: O Lord, how many are my foes? Many are rising against me. Many are saying of my soul, there is no salvation for him in God. Let's stop there. David is writing about physical enemies of the people of God, whose dogged opposition has been used by the adversary to whisper to David's soul, there is no salvation for you in God. In short, causing David to question God's credibility, his love, maybe even his existence. So here's the initial question for us today. What foes are causing you, your soul, to question God's deliverance? Man, in times like these, this can be so relevant. But it's always true. What situations, past or present sins, troubling thoughts, or even active relationships are the adversary using to whisper these lies to your soul that God can't or won't save you? Many times for me, it's my own failures. My relentless mistakes often cause me to wonder if God can save me or if he wants to, if God can use me, or if he even wants to. For me, it's also often my successes. When I perceive myself successful, I often find more confidence in myself than in Christ, setting me up for these moments where I doubt his deliverance. But you see, these moments, I am looking to myself as the source of my salvation rather than God. So David here in the next verse gives us 3 ways to guard against this lie. Here's the first one in verse 3. But you, O Lord, are a shield about me. What's your defense mechanism? I used to know a man who was a liar. He lied about everything all the time. His lies were usually designed to protect or elevate himself, or both. Now, please don't misunderstand me. I'm not judging him. I harbored, nor do I harbor, any ill will towards him. He never wronged me. It was simply true that he lied a lot. And upon further observation, it was discovered that this was his defense mechanism. You see, he had had a horrendous childhood, and he had found that the only way to protect himself, both physically and emotionally, was to lie. There was a safety in lying for him. So what is your defense? A few of mine: I like to eat, I like to shop online, I like to watch movies. Some people like to gossip, like to drink, or work, or observe pornography. Part of battling the lie that God cannot or will not save you is to regularly and with abandon trust God as your defense. He has already overcome the world. He's already saved you. So David says, but you, O Lord, are a shield about me. And then he says, my glory. God is David's glory. So what is your glory? Is it achievement? Is it physical appearance? Other people's perception of you? For me, many times it is preaching. Instead of finding my identity in Christ, I have found my identity in my vocation. How many of us do that? Sometimes I use my kids as my glory, which is unfair to them. Sometimes I find a little too much strength in social media likes. Part of battling the lies of the enemy is choosing to find your glory, your self-worth, your purpose in the Lord. Period. So David says in verse 3, but you, O Lord, are a shield about me, my glory, and finally, the lifter of my head. Our family loves America's Funniest Home Videos. We watch a montage a day at least, which I recommend for everyone, particularly during this time. The other day we saw one where some rather cruel friends gave a buddy of theirs a fake lottery card. You should have seen this guy and how he reacted when he thought he had won $10,000, and you should have seen him when he found out it was a fake. I got good news and bad news. The bad news is all worldly victories, riches, successes are fakes, or at least very temporary limitations. Every trophy, every recognition, all of it, it's nothing in the grand scheme of things. The good news is the victory of the resurrection, the triumph of Jesus over sin and death is greater than you realize. Don't let the things of this world lift your head. Allow God to do it. And let him do it with the gospel every single day. During this time and throughout the rest of your life, the adversary will use anything he can to cause you to doubt that God is your salvation. Use the Lord as your shield, the Lord as your glory, and the Lord as the lifter of your head. Maybe it's better to say it this way. Don't use the Lord as these things. Allow the Lord to be these things, because he is. He is. David says in verse 4, I cried aloud to the Lord, and he answered me from the hills, the holy hills. I lay down and slept. I woke again, for the Lord sustained me. I will not be afraid of many thousands of people who have set themselves against me all around. Arise, O Lord, save me, O my God, for you strike all my enemies on the cheek. You break the teeth of the wicked. Verse 8, salvation belongs to the Lord. Your blessing be on your people. We'll see you tomorrow.